Just sing, go for it. Spread the news. Hello? Testing, testing. Is this working? You guys hear me? It's not working. That's not a good start. You can hear me now? No. Is it the microphone working or no? It's not? I am on? All right, there we go. Welcome, everybody. I mean, how about a hand that we're all even together? I mean, just that, all right? Just
Come together right now.
We did. Welcome to the 2 hours traffic of our stage. I couldn't wait to say that. I've been really thinking about that for about 6 months. I have this unbounded delight in being here. Really, that's the only words I can say. To be able to do this live, to see people. This is the first time I'm talking to a live audience, of students, faculty, whatever. But that in since March of 2020, right? Oh man, does this feel good? I am just taking this in again. And when you're up here, you'll feel the same way. Okay. So the theme this year is Shakespeare and nature. It collided perfectly with Earth Day, So here we are, as my famous Jack here said, it is synergy, right? That we make it nature, and all the world's a stage, right? And so here we are, and this is our little world away from all the other stuff, but it kind of fits, all the world's a stage to Shakespeare, and this is our world, this is our globe tonight in the main theater. So I couldn't be more happy to be here. I'm so glad you guys are here. I want to thank people right away who deserve to be thanked for really pulling this off. We got Nate Zerby of events. We got let's see, Joe Fournier of the PAC working for the TLC and BTV right now. We have Jen Yanabelli of BTV. We have Lauren Concour, if I'm saying those names right, from BTV. Sergey from BTV. Frank from the TLC now, and of course, Sherry Vanderspiel, there she is now. Without her, without a doubt, we would not be here. And if I can speak for her and say she's thrilled to have an event here, that's that. If I can say that, right, Sherry? All right. So I don't think I was overstepping my time.
All the alphabets you got there. When's the FBI, the CIA? When does Homeland Security come in there?
Okay, I refuse to get bifocals because then that would just bring me to a different pantalon. So you got these goofy glasses I got to read with here. Shakespeare and nature are really incredibly everywhere. There are amazing connections. I mean, everything we're going to read tonight, is going to be obviously connected to nature in some way. I'll just give you a couple of examples, though. There are 160 references to plants and herbs in Shakespeare's plays. There are 50 different species of flowers recognized by Shakespeare. There are 66 species of birds in Shakespeare's plays. It was almost impossible to pick and choose from. Like every page I read, there was something involving nature, So you're going to see it in terms of the figurative language, the metaphors, the similes. That's going to be chock-a-block with everything we read, okay? But it's also in even stage direction. Exit pursued by a bear, right? That's the most famous stage direction ever, right? How that gets pulled off on stage is a whole different thing. When I saw The Winter's Tale, I think, Meg, you were there, I believe. They just did this loud bear sound, roar, that was it. But I want to see this real bear. I want to go to a performance where a real bear comes on stage. Not a real bear, right? But that would make it all kind of goofy because we've learned pretty shortly that guy gets shredded and killed. So how goofy can you make that scene? And then also, just in terms of you can go on the Shakespeare Concordance open source. You'll have a blast. and just do things like type in the word horse. He used it 230 times. The word dog, 143. Cat, 36. Sun, 252. Rose, 72 times. Right? So all this going on with Shakespeare and nature. So fit perfectly well with Earth. Okay. A couple of protocols you guys already know. We're using just that side today, just because of the cameras and everything like that. So you guys, if you're going to be one of the participants, if you want to move over to that section, I just been asked to do that. We keep the masks on while we are in the audience, but if you're comfortable, when you come up here, you can take them off to do your reading. That's type of goal. Sherry, anything else? Am I missing something? What's that?
All I heard was
Oh,
alcohol.
I heard alcohol too. Out the hallways. Okay. You mean these two aisles? Yeah, right? Is that what you mean? Oh, the wipes. Yes. Okay, so when you're done reading, you're going to see that there are wipes right here. Yeah. So when you're done, just sanitize. So, Jack, anything from you at this point, or shall we get started?
It's your Earth Day. We're going to party like it's your Earth Day. That's all as far as I can go. It's a family show.
And this is how it goes. I mean, it's usually spontaneous, and it had to be a little bit more rigid this time, like getting the parts out. But there's still going to be spontaneity. Some people didn't show. We're going to need volunteers. If you've been given a part you really don't want, somebody else will take it. You'll take something else. And really, it's freewheeling, right? That's the spirit of this whole thing. So, just the way I think Shakespeare would like it. Okay, so the first scene is from As You Like It. Okay, and when I taught this play, this is my favorite comment. When I've taught this play and we get to this part, it always reminds me of the country mouse and the city mouse. Remember that little story? Probably you youngins. But it's a debate between what's better, country life, city life, and also the pros and cons of both, with the rhetorical debate going on between Corin, Shepherd, and Touchstone. It's not really the city, the court life versus country life, right? And so Touchstone is ramming down how great the court is, and that being a farmer or a shepherd is ridiculous life, country life, and that's the scene, right? So here we go. Jack is going to be Touchstone, the clown, and Portchester, and I will be Corin, the shepherd. And how like you this shepherd's life, Master Touchstone?
Truly? Shepherd, in respect of itself, it is good life, but in respect that it is a shepherd's life, it is not. In respect that it is solitary, I like it very well. But in respect that it is private, it is a very vile life. Now, in respect it is in the fields, it pleases me well, but in respect it is not in the court. It is tedious, as it is spare life. Look you, it fits my humor well. But as there is no more plenty in it, it goes much against my stomach. Hast any philosophy in thee, shepherd?
No more, but that I know the more one sickens, the worse at ease he is, and that he that wants money, means, and content is without three good friends. That the property of rain is too wet, and fire to burn. That good pasture makes fat sheep, and that a great cause of the night is lack of the sun. That he that hath learned no wit by nature nor art may complain of good breeding, or comes of a very dull kindred.
Such a one is a natural philosopher. Was never in court.
Oh, truly.
Then thou art damned. Truly thou art damned like an ill-roasted egg.
For
all on
not
one
being
side.
at court? Your
Why?
reason.
If you never wast at court, thou never sawest good manners. If thou never sawest good manners, then thy manners must be wicked, and wickedness is a sin, and sin is damnation. Thou art in a parlous state.
Touchstone, those are good manners at the court are as ridiculous in the country as the behavior of the country is most mockable at the court. You told me you salute not at the court, but you kiss your hands. That courtesy would be uncleanly if courtiers were shepherds.
Well, instance briefly. Come, instance.
What? We are still handling our ewes and their fells, are greasy.
Why do not your courtiers' hands sweat? And is not the grease of a mutton as wholesome as the sweat of a man? Shallow, shallow. A better instance, I say. Come, come.
Besides, our hands are hard.
Your lips will feel them the sooner. Shallow again, a more sounder instance. Come.
And they are often tarred over with the surgery of our sheep. And would you have us kiss tar? The courtier's hands are perfumed with civet.
Thou worms meet in the respect of a good piece of flesh indeed. Learn of the wise and perpend. Civet is of a baser birth than tar. The very uncleanly flux of a cat. Mend the instant shepherd, mend it.
You have to courtly with me. I'll rest.
Wilt thou rest, Dan? God help thee, shallow man. God make incision in thee, thou art raw.
Sir, I am a true laborer. I earn that I eat, get that I wear, owe no man hate, envy no man's happiness, glad of other men's good, content with my harm, and the greatest of my pride is to see my ewes graze and my lambs suck.
That is another simple sin in you, to bring the ewes and the rams together and to offer to get your living by the copulation of cattle. To be a bawd, to a well bellwether, and to betray a she-lamb of a 12-month to a crooked, plated, old cuckoldy ram out of all reasonable match. If thou beest not damned for this, the devil himself will have no shepherds. I cannot see how else
Okay, everybody, we have a lot to cover today. You're seeing a 60-page script. We're doing this in 2 hours. I don't see how we're going to do it, but we're going to try, all right? We even have more than what's there, actually. So without further ado, all right, we're going to have the next scene. It's from As You Like It, which I think is also Shakespeare's greenest play, all right? And in this particular scene, we have Duke Sr., Meg is playing Duke Sr., Amiens, Zafira. The first lord is Laura McCullough, and the second lord is Asher, okay? Asher Green. So you guys have the stage. In terms of, like I said, I think it's the greenest play of Shakespeare. And also, all you need to hear is the line, books in the babbling brook. It's when you hear what the Duke says, it is so inspiring what he connects nature to and how to live in nature. Okay, you guys.
Now, my co-mates and brothers in exile, hath not old custom made this life more sweet than that of painted palm? Are not these woods more free from peril than the envious court? Here feel we but the penalty of Adam. The seasons differ, as the icy fang and churlish chiding of the winter's wind, which, when it bites and blows upon my body, even till I shrink with cold, I smile and say, this is no flattery. These are counselors that feelingly persuade me what I am. Sweet are the uses of adversity, which like the toad, ugly and venomous, wears yet precious tool in his head. And this is our life exempt from public harm. Find tongues in trees, books in the running brook, sermons in stone, and good in everything. I would not Come, shall we go and kill us venison? And yet it irks me that poor dappled fools, being native burghers of this desert city, should in their own confines with forked heads have their round haunches gored.
Indeed, my lord, the melancholy jock grieves at that, and that swears you do more usurp than doth your brother that it has banished. Today, my lord of amends and myself did steal behind him as he lay along under an oak, whose antique roots peep out upon the brook that brawls along this wood. To the which place a poor sequestered stag, that from the hunter's aim had ta'en a hurt, did come to languish. And indeed, my lord, the wretched animal heaved forth such groans that their discharge did stretched his leathern coat almost to bursting, and the big round tears coursed one another down his innocent nose in piteous chase. And thus the hairy fool, much marked of the melancholy jock, stood on the extremest verge of the swift brook, augmenting it with tears.
What said Jock? Did he not moralize this spectacle?
Oh, yes, into 1,000 similes. First, for his weeping into the needless stream. Poor dear, quoth he, thou makest a testament as worldlings do, giving thy sum of more to that which had too much. Then, being there alone, left and abandoned of his velvet friends, 'tis right, quoth he, thus misery doth part, flux of company. Anon a careless herd, full of the pasture, jumps along by him and never stays to greet him. Aye, quoth Jock, sweep on, you fat and greasy citizens, 'tis just the fashion. Wherefore do you look upon that poor and broken bankrupt there? Thus, most invectively, he pierceth through the body of the country, city, court, yea, and of this our life, swearing that we are mere usurpers, tyrants, and what's worse, to fright the animals and to kill them up in their assigned and native dwelling place.
And did you leave him in this contemplation?
We did, my lord, weeping and commenting upon the sobbing deer.
Show me the place. I love to cope him in these sullen fits. Then he's full of matter.
I'll bring you to him straight. Now we doth cleaneth.
That's it. That's it.
I was remiss before, if you don't have a script, they're out front here before you come in. There's also snacks, water there, which I'm sure you saw. And also, there's a box full of this journal that gets published every year. It consists of literary analysis essays written by Brookdale students in literature courses. Okay, I'm actually getting into the 6th year now of publishing the next volume. And I believe Dorothy Spears in the audience is one of the contributors of the last one. So, feel free to pick up a copy before you leave, right? Okay, we now have the wonderful, to many people, the famous comedy, Twelfth Night. And so, for this particular scene, we will have Olivia, let's see, Donna Flynn, I think. Did I tell you this, Donna? Okay, so, okay. And wait, is Bob Grill? You're going to be on the spot here, Bob. I don't think I tell you about this one because are you willing to take this one on? All right, come on. Because Judy's not here. Judy Alexander, right? Okay, so Bob, you are Viola, and Donna is Olivia.
Playing the captain?
Wait, did I skip that? Oh, I'm sorry, I made a mistake. No, let's do this. Do this, yeah, if you don't mind winging it. Let's do this one. You're going to do the one after.
Oh.
Okay, it starts with Act 1, Scene 5. How does he love me? All right.
So I'm Olivia.
You are Olivia, and you will be Viola. You got that? We are going to do it. Back.
How does he love me?
With adorations, fertile tears, with groans that thunder love, with sighs of fire.
Your Lord does know my mind. I cannot love him, yet I suppose him virtuous, know him noble, of great estate, of fresh and stainless youth, in voices well divulged, free, learned, and valiant, and in dimension in the shape of nature, a gracious person. But yet I cannot love him. He might have took his answer long ago.
If I did love you in my master's flame, with such a suffering, such a deadly life, in your denial I would find no sense. I would not understand it.
Why? What would you?
Make me a willow cabin at your gate, and call upon my soul within the house. Write loyal cantons of condemned love, and sing them loud even in the dead of night. Hallow your name to the reverberate hills, and make the babbling gossip of the air cry out, Olivia! Oh, you should not rest between the elements of air and earth, but you should pity me. And we wipe.
And what do we want?
Make me a willow cabin at your gate is really one of my favorite passages in all Shakespeare. Of course, just to complicate things in the comedies, Shakespeare has Viola, a woman who's also, of course, played by a male actor, right, in Shakespeare day, only to play a woman disguised, courting another woman, okay, for somebody else who's a man. Right, so just in case you didn't follow that, that's what's been going on there. All right, so we're going to go back to the shipwreck, okay, earlier that separates the twins. All right, so this is Act 1, and we have Rachel Donovan, a former student of many of us, right, at least a few of us in the theater here, and we're going to have the captain, Danny. All right. So this is after the shipwreck, and Viola is talking to the captain. You learn a lot about Viola's accurate and precise sense of judgment in this scene.
What country, friends, is this?
This is Illyria, lady.
And what should I do in Illyria? My brother, he is in Elysium. Perchance he is not drowned. What do you think, sailors?
It is perchance that you yourself were saved.
Oh, my poor brother, and so perchance may he be.
True, madam. And to comfort you with chance, assure yourself, after our ship did split, when you and those poor numbers saved with you, hung on your driving boat, I saw your brother, most provident in peril, blind himself, courage and hope both teaching him to practice, to a strong mast that lived upon the sea. Where the Aryan on the dolphin's back, I saw him hold acquaintance with the waves, so long as I could see.
For saying so, there's gold, my own escape unfolded to my hope, whereto thy speech serves for authority. The like of him, knowest thou this country?
Aye, madam, well, for I was bred and born, not 3 hours' travel from this very place.
Who governs here?
A noble duke, in nature as in name.
What is the name?
Orsino.
Orsino? I have heard my father name him. He was a bachelor then.
And so is now, or was so very late. For but a month ago I went from hence, and then 'twas fresh in murmur, as you know. What great ones do the less will prattle of, that he did seek the love of fair Olivia.
What's she?
A virtuous maid, the daughter of a count, that died some 12 months since, then leaving her in the protection of his son, her brother, who shortly also died, for whose dear love, they say, she hath adjured the company and sight of men.
Oh, that I served that lady, and might not be delivered to the world, till I had made my own occasion mellow, what my estate is.
That were hard to compass, because she will admit no kind of suit, no, not the Duke's.
Okay, now we turn to maybe the greatest work of Western literature, Hamlet. And this scene is a really powerful scene. It's the scene where we know for sure that Ophelia has gone mad. It correlates in a lot of ways, or parallels Hamlet's feigned madness, right? But this is real madness. She has snapped. Her father, Polonius, has been killed, right? And she starts giving out flowers and herbs. And amazingly enough, identifying them what they are very accurately, despite her insanity. But it's a really powerful scene. My favorite Ophelia, and I'm forgetting her name right now, which is terrible on my part, but if you get to see the Benedict Cumberbatch version where he plays Hamlet, the actress who plays Ophelia just blew me away, and she will forever be my Ophelia. And there were many people who saw it who felt the same way. I see Jude nodding here, so. And so we have Donna Flynn in that role. By the way, Miriam Nakvi, the Nakvi sisters, Akila, who's in Canada right now, and Mariam, who's at Rowan University. Mariam Nakvi was supposed to be here tonight but couldn't make it. But I know she's watching, so Mariam, this is for you, all right? So no pressure, Donna, by the way. So Laertes, I heard that Sophia's in the house. Where is she? How about just on the spot, just jump up and do? What do you think? Why did I know that would be the reaction? Okay. You got a script, right? Yes. All right, awesome. It's a little light. You'll see it. Yeah, there's a little.
Okay, I've got to get my crazy on.
Yeah, you do. Oh, you got flowers.
Yep. Hello. Laertes.
How now? What noise is that? Oh, heat, dry up my brains. Tears 7 times salt, burnt out the sense and virtue of mine eye. By heaven, thy madness shall be paid by weight, till our scale turn the beam. O Rose of May, dear maid, kind sister, sweet Ophelia. O heavens, is't possible a young maid's wits should be as moral as an old man's life? Nature is fine in love, and where 'tis fine, it sends some precious instance of itself after the thing it loves.
They bore him barefaced on the bier. Hey, nonny, nonny, hey, nonny. And in his grave rained many a tear. Fare you well, my dove.
Hadst thou thy wits, and didst persuade revenge, it could not move thus.
You must sing a down, and you call him a down. Oh, how the wheel becomes it. It is the false steward that stole his master's daughter.
There's nothing's more than matter.
There's rosemary, that's for remembrance. Pray, love, remember. And then there's pansies, that's for thoughts.
A document in madness, thoughts and remembrance fitted.
There's fennel for you and columbines. There's rue for you, and here's some for me. We may call it Herbo Graco Sundays. Oh, you must wear your rue with a difference. There's a daisy. I would give you some violets, but they withered all when my father died. They say he made a good end. For bonny, sweet Robin is all my joy.
Thought and affliction, passion, hell itself, she turns to favor and to prettiness.
And will he not come again? And will he not come again? No, no, he's dead. Go to thy deathbed. He never will come again. His beard was white as snow. All flaxen was his poll. He is gone, and we cast away moan. God had mercy on his soul, and of all Christian souls I pray God be with ye.
Do you see this, O God?
Really mean to give me a singing part.
Donna had emailed me, to say, Jim, what role do you want to give me? I'll do anything but give me some. So I said, how about Ophelia? When she's insane, goes mad. Because, after the last 11 months, we've all gone a little bit insane, right? So lost our minds, all right? So I said, Donna, you won't have to do really any acting for this. But wow, nicely done, guys. That was great. That really, I don't know, my new Ophelia, I guess. Okay. This now moves us to, well, actually, we stay with Hamlet. And this is another really powerful scene. With this scene, we have Queen Gertrude reporting on the death of Ophelia. And it's a funny thing, because when you study Hamlet, when you read it, you see it, years go by, and you think, a lot of us think that happened on stage, like the death, because there's so many paintings of it, there's so many images of it, or the ones we conjure in our head from the poetry from Gertrude, right? But in fact, the death, of course, doesn't happen on stage. It's Gertrude reporting it. And the way she reports it is very, very important. It's a whole other issue, the way she does it, because she reports it as if it's not a suicide, and that's very, very important for her burial, okay? But listen to the lush, rich language that just invites nature into the scene. It's beautiful. And we have, okay, Laura McCullough as Gertrude, we have Jack as Laertes, and we have yours truly, Jim Cody, as Claudius.
One woe doth tread upon another's heel, so fast they follow. Your sister's drowned, Laertes.
Sorry, I know that's me, but... Oh, there we go. Drowned? Oh, where?
There is a willow, grows aslant a brook, that shows his hoar leaves in the glassy stream. There, with fantastic garlands did she come, of crow flowers, nettles, daisies, and long purples that liberal shepherds give a grosser name. But our cold maids do dead men's fingers call them. There, on the pendant boughs, her coronet weeds clamoring to hang, an envious sliver broke, when down her weedy trophies and herself fell in the weeping brook, her clothes spread wide, and mermaid-like, a while they bore her up, which time she chanted snatches of old tunes, as one incapable of her own distress, or like a creature native and endued unto that element. But long it could not be till that her garments, heavy with their drink, pulled the poor wretch from her melodious lay to muddy death.
Alas. Then she is drowned.
Drowned.
Too much of water hast thou, poor Ophelia, and therefore I forbid my tears, but yet it is our trick. Nature her custom holds, let shame say what it will when these are gone. The woman will be out. But do, my lord, I have a speech of fire that fain would blaze, but that this folly doubts it.
Let's follow, Gertrude. How much I had to do to calm his rage. Now fear I this will give it start again. Therefore, let's follow. Not to make light of a very powerful, tragic scene, but Laertes doesn't come across to me as the sharpest tool in the shed when he says, "Is she drowned then?" I mean, what didn't you get out of everything that Gertrude just said? Anyway, but it's just my little thing. Okay, so we now turn to Macbeth. We got maybe the nature and the supernatural going on here with the three witches, all right? We got thunder and lightning, imagine these special effects, okay? And enter three witches. And we bring Dorothy back on the stage, we bring Sophia back on the stage as the first witch Dorothy, second witch Sophia, and third witch Danny Silva.
When
Can you come up? Why doesn't everybody just introduce themselves and just give her your name before we start the reading, because we're all kind of getting set up. And as we're waiting for people to come up, I want to go back to when Laura McCullough read the First Lord and that description that she so beautifully read for us of that deer dying, and Jacques' reaction to it. It's just so heart-wrenching. It reminds me of Dido in the Aeneid when she is struck by Cupid's arrow and how love has caused her to run through the streets as a dying doe who's been struck.
Okay, hi, I'm Dorothy. I'm a current math major at Brookdale.
Hi, I'm Sophia. I used to be a student here. Yes.
What's up? I'm Danny. I'm an education major right now.
All right, sweet. Okay. When shall we three meet again? In thunder, lightning, or in rain?
When the hurly-burly's done, when the battle's lost and won,
That will be ere the set of sun,
Where's the place?
upon the heath.
there to meet with Macbeth.
I come, Grey Malkin.
Paddock calls.
Anon.
Fair is foul, and foul is fair. Hover through
the fog and
the
fill
fog.
the air.
Yes.
We rehearsed.
Oh.
Another no-show tonight because he is unable to be here, and he would love to be here, known for his famous finger sandwiches too. But many of you know Bernie Weinstein, right? He's recovered from a lot. I hear he's thriving though. Ann Cox has given me the update through emails. Harold Dembo, another senior in the Shakespeare class, is filling me in on Bernstein. He's doing on Bernie. He's doing very well apparently. His voice has gotten stronger and stronger. He's shopping by himself, cooking by himself. So if Bernie ever sees this, you know, he also got an honorary degree here a couple of years ago. He's, I think, 92 years old, and from what I heard, only just recently, 94, all right, 94, right, 94. And he's just only recently stopped consulting as a lawyer. So if Bernie sees this, I would just like to give him a round of applause for Bernie Weinstein. Keep making those sandwiches, Bernie. We want them. Okay, so we stay with Macbeth, okay, which a lot of you, I'm sure, would like, because for a lot of us, Macbeth is our favorite play. And in this scene, we have the famous Told by Native, full of sound and fury, that famous, it's actually a monologue by Macbeth. So John Bukovic is going to come up and be Macbeth, Jude Shingledecker, Satan, and Thomas Hicks. Thomas is here, right? Is Thomas here? Thomas is not here. Okay. I need a messenger. Who wants to be a messenger? There we go. Okay.
Send the messenger in.
Yes, we need a messenger.
John, and do not soar the air as I have seen others.
Good evening. My name is John Bukovic. Yeah, it's good enough. Wherefore was that cry?
The Queen, my lord, is dead.
She should have died hereafter. There would have been a time for such a word. Tomorrow, and tomorrow, and tomorrow creeps in this petty pace from day to the last syllable of recorded time. And all our yesterdays have lighted fools the way to dusty death. Out, brief candle. Life is but a walking shadow, a poor player that struts and frets his hour upon the stage and then is heard no more. It is a tale told by an idiot, full of sound and fury, signifying nothing. Thou comest to use thy tongue, thy story quickly.
Gracious my lord, I should report that which I say I saw, but know not how to do it.
Well, say, sir.
As I did stand my watch upon the hill, I looked toward Burnham, and anon methought the wood began to move.
Liar and slave.
Let me endure your wrath, if not be so. Within this 3 mile may you see it coming. I say a moving grove.
If thou speakest false, upon the next tree thou shalt hang alive, till famine cling thee. If thy speech be sooth, I care not if it dost thus furnish me. I pull in resolution and begin to doubt the equivocation of the fiend that lies like the truth. Fear not till Burnham Wood do come to Dunsinane, and now a wood comes towards Dunsinane. Arm, and out! If this is what he avouches does appear, there is nor flying hence nor tarrying here. I gin to be aweary of the sun, and wish the estate of the world were now undone. Ring the alarm bell, blow wind, come, whack! At least we'll die with harness on our back. Oh, sorry.
Credit the screen.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, the scream was Jennifer Bukovic, who I am lucky enough to be married to.
That's what inspired me.
She does screams well.
John, I'm thinking that felt pretty good to do that.
Yeah.
Let it out. When Burnham Wood comes to Dunsinane, you know you're having a bad day. That's, okay, we stay, now this is a transition, here's a segue. Midsummer Night's Dream, okay? The whole play is practically outside in the woods, all right? So any part of it almost completely fits. For this scene, we have Ann Cox playing Hermia. We have, is Sage, did Sage get here? Sage? No Sage. Well, Lysander is Cameron Mount, and Demetrius is Jen Bukovic. Is Jen? Nope. Okay. So let's see. We need a Helena. Oh, Jude. Okay, come on, Helena.
Jim, while we wait for them to come up, how many years is this now the Shakespeare birthday party has been on?
This is now year, let's see, 11.
So the 11th year?
21 year last year.
We had a miss last year for obvious reasons.
My name is Anne, and I'm a former Shakespeare student and hope maybe to continue in the future. My part is Hermia. Oh, me, you juggler. Oh, yes, of course.
Sorry, I forgot to introduce myself earlier. I'm Jude. I'm a graduate of Brookdale from 2018, and now I'm a grad student at Monmouth studying English literature.
I'm Cameron Mount. I'm an English professor at Brookdale.
Take your mask off.
I'm Jen.
Okay. Oh, me, you juggler, you canker blossom, you thief of love. What? Have you come by night and stolen my love's heart from him?
Fine, I faith. Have you no modesty, no maiden shame, no touch of bashfulness? What, will you tear impatient answers from my gentle tongue? Fie, fie, you counterfeit, you puppet, you.
Puppet, why so? That way goes the game. Now I perceive that she had made compare between our statures. She had urged her height, and with her personage, her tall personage, her height, forsooth, she had prevailed with him. And are you grown so high in his esteem, because I am so dwarfish and so low? How low am I, thou painted maypole? Speak. How low am I? I am not yet so low, but that my nails can reach into thine eyes.
I pray you, though you mock me, gentlemen, let her not hurt me. I was never cursed. I have no gift at all in shrewishness. Sorry. I am a right maid for your cowardice. Let her not strike me. You perhaps may think, because she is something lower than myself, that I can match her.
Lower. Hark again.
Good Hermia, do not be so bitter with me. I evermore did love you, Hermia. Did you ever keep your counsels? Never wronged you. Say that in love unto Demetrius. I told him of your stealth unto this wood. He followed you, for love I followed him. But he hath chid me hence and threatened me, to strike me, spurn me, nay, to kill me too. And now, so you will let me quiet go. To Athens will I bear my folly back, and follow you no further. Let me go. You see how simple and how fond I am.
Why, get you gone. Who is it that hinders you?
A foolish heart that I leave here behind.
What? With Lysander?
With Demetrius.
Be not afraid. She shall not harm thee, Helena.
No, sir, she shall not, though you take her part.
Oh, when she's angry, she is keen and shrewd. She was a vixen when she went to school, and though she be but little, she is fierce.
Little again, nothing but low and little. Well, why will you suffer her to flout me thus? Let me come to her.
Get you gone, you dwarf, you minimus of hindering not grass maid, you bean, you acorn.
You are too officious in her behalf that scorns your services. Let her alone. Speak not of Helena. Take not her part. For if thou dost intend never so little show of love to her, thou shalt abye it.
Now she holds me not. Now follow, if thou darest, to try whose right of thine or mine is most in Helena.
Follow. Nay, I'll go with thee, cheek by jowl.
You, mistress, all this coil is long of you. Nay, go not back.
I will not trust you. I nor longer stay in your cursed company. Your hands that mine are quicker for a fray. My legs are longer, though, to run away.
I am amazed, and know not what to say.
Seeing Jude up here reminded me of another student who could not be here tonight. She has a really good excuse, though. Some of you may know from other classes of Brittany Scardino. She successfully defended her master's thesis today at Monmouth University. So I know Brittany's going to be watching this. She wishes she could be here. She's been here early. We are very proud. So here's to you, Brittany. Okay, so now we get John back up here. It looks like Carl Callender has entered the building. Hey, Carl, how are you? All right. John, should I let you introduce the this speech? Yes, yeah, I know. He hasn't changed at all. Okay, so well, all right. So Nick Bottom has been turned into an ass by the fairies, by Punk, right? But yeah, yeah. I didn't deliberately give. He wanted this part. And then he winds up, making love to Titania, a fairy. And after that, he wakes up and he thinks it's a dream. And somehow Nick Bottom has been a bit of a dullard, not surly, but a dullard for sure. And he has these really amazing, profound things. It just goes to show you what'll happen when you make love to a fairy. What can happen to you? Right? So, and this is Nick Bottom, post making love to a fairy.
The important part is well, I don't know. I don't want Jim to get upset. As I teach in class, 90% is all sexual innuendo. So, go figure.
What's the part that I get upset?
Well, because you were talking about nature, not the sexual innuendo. all those little fun facts you gave at the beginning, you forgot to mention that you're talking about the man who invented 150 phrases for male and female genitalia. So, oh no, you know who I'm talking about there, doctor. When my cue comes, call me, and I will answer. My next is Most Fair Pyramus. Hi-ho! Peter Quince! Flute, the bellows mender! Snout, the tinker! Starveling! God's my life, stolen hence and left me asleep. I have had a most rare vision. I have had a dream, past the wit of man to say what dream it was. Man is but an ass, if he go about to expound this dream. Methought I was, there is no man can tell what methought I was. Methought I had, but no man is a patched fool if he will offer to say what methought I had. The eye of man hath not heard, the ear of man hath not seen, man's hand is not able to taste, his tongue to conceive, nor his heart to report what my dream was. Ah, I will get Peter Quince to write a ballad of this dream, and it shall be called Bottom's Dream, because it hath no bottom. And I will sing it in the latter end of the play before the Duke, peradventure, to make it more gracious. I shall sing it at her death.
Macbeth or Bottom? You can do it all. Okay, now we turn to Julius Caesar. For many of us, this is the first play we were ever taught. Is that the case? The first play that I have experienced in the classroom was actually Macbeth. But for how many of you was Julius Caesar the first play that you were introduced to in school? I thought more than that. Romeo and Juliet, maybe first? Oh, look at all those hands. Okay, well, that's coming up, gang. But Julius Caesar, supposedly it's taught early because if you take that text and really dissect it, it is the easiest play to read, apparently. So that's why oftentimes we see it taught so early in the school system. This is right before the assassination of Julius Caesar, and nature is not responding very well to this. The portents are awful. Nature is upside down. There's a lion walking across the Capitol. Okay, so this is Cicero or Meg. We have Casca as Zafira, as Casca, I should say, and Asher Green as Cassius. Listen to what's happened to nature in this scene.
Meg Natter, 23 years Brookdalian, and my heart is in the English department.
And I'm Zafira. I'm a first-year student. I'm an English major.
All right. Good even, Casca. What brought you Caesar home? Why are you breathless, and why stare you so?
Are you not moved when all the sway of earth shakes like a thing unfirm? Oh, Cicero, I have seen tempests when the scolding winds have rived the knotty oaks, and I have seen them, the ambitious oceans swell and rage and foam, to be exalted with the threatening clouds. But never till tonight, never till now, did I go through a tempest dropping fire. Either there is a civil strife in heaven, or else the world, too saucy with the gods, incenses them to send destruction.
Why? Saw you anything more wonderful?
A common slave, you know him well by sight, held up his left hand, which did flame and burn, like 20 torches joined, and yet his hand, not sensible of fire, remained unscorched. Besides, I had not since put up my sword. Against the Capitol I met a lion who glared upon me, and went surly by, without annoying me, and there were drawn upon a heap 100 ghastly women, transformed with their fear, who swore they saw men all in fire walk up and down the streets. And yesterday the bird of night did sit, even at noonday, upon the marketplace, hooting and shrieking. When these prodigies do so conjointly meet, let's not men say, these are their reasons, they are natural, for I believe they are portentous things unto the climate that they point upon.
Indeed, it is a strange disposed time. But men may construe things after their fashion, clean from the purpose of the things themselves. Comes Caesar to the Capitol tomorrow?
He doth, for he did bid Antonius send word to you he would be there tomorrow.
Good night then, Casca. This disturbed sky is not to walk in.
Farewell, Cicero.
Who's there?
A Roman.
Casca, by your voice.
Your ear is good. Cassius, what night is this?
A very pleasing night to honest men.
Whoever knew the heaven's menace so?
Those that have known the earth so full of faults. For my part, I have walked about the streets, submitting me unto the perilous night, and thus unbraced, Casca, as you see, have bared my bosom to the thunderstone. And when the cross-blue lightning seemed to open the breast of heaven, I did present myself even in the aim and very flash of it.
But wherefore did you so much tempt the heavens? It is the part of men to fear and tremble, when the most mighty gods by token send such dreadful heralds to astonish us.
Running out of wipes.
Yeah, she might have put them somewhere up here too, though. For those of you keeping score at home, I've always wanted to say that too. We are skipping around a little bit. Right now we're going to go to King Lear instead. I think Richard was on tap, but we're going to go to King Lear now. I'll just start. I don't know, how many of you have studied, read it, seen King Lear? I just want to get a sense of, a good amount. Okay, because to me, this play is the one that you put in the capsule, right? And you send it into outer space to other worlds to show the rest of the universe what we're capable of, okay? This play is otherworldly. It is so abundant. It doesn't seem possible to have even been written. I know that sounds like exaggeration, but if you've experienced Lear, I don't know, I think I'm actually understating. And so this is the storm scene. There's two parts to it, all right? Lear has been reduced to unaccommodated man. Right? He was a king who divided his kingdom in the beginning. He smelled the bad decisions, really bad idea. He didn't understand any of his daughters, and two of them couldn't wait for him to die. But now, the gift that they've been given, he divided the kingdom and gave them his estate while he was still alive. So they abandoned him, and now at this point, he is thrust out into the storm, and the famous storm scene is what is going to happen here. Jack, do you have anything to say about Lear as well?
Yeah, in this play, the father and son, as well as in the main plot line, the father and daughter relationship is just so wonderfully crafted and so horribly true in some ways. And certainly in many ways, that is the exact opposite. But here, Shakespeare knows that without this kind of tension, there wouldn't be that many people that would pay attention to it. So here we have Gloucester as well has also been betrayed by one of his sons. And so we have these kinds of betrayals and the lesson learned here for all of you is as you get closer to the end, don't give your stuff away. But here we have the wonderful part of it that is, oh, by the way, I'm Jack Ryan. If you cut me, do I not bleed Brookdale Jersey blue? I've been around Brookdale so long that it was not before I had a beard, but it was before I could grow a beard that I was here. So in this scene, and this is so wonderful about the nature, we have this aspect of Lear and in the idea that he is, raging against nature in such a way, and just as with his two daughters, he's not going to win. So, ready to go?
Jim Cody, 25 years, Brookdale. I didn't introduce myself, I don't think, right? 25
No, you did
years at Brookdale English Department, and one of the greatest gifts I ever got was given to me by Dr. Carl Callender, who passed on the baton of teaching the Shakespeare plays class up until, 2008, right, Carl?
No one does it better than you.
Well,
There you go. Here.
I don't know.
And Jim has started this
Praise for
Shakespeare
season.
birthday party and has kept it going through thick and thin. And it's wonderful for students to be able to participate in this because the actual reading of it and the speaking it out loud, Shakespeare never intended it to be on the page. It was to be spoken. Now, of course, it has become so famous because his words are so important and so integral to the human spirit and to human nature, as John was talking about with regards to his argument as to why the sexuality of the scene that he was talking about is so ingrained in nature itself.
And the scene repeats itself in Forrest Gump. When Captain Dan and Forrest Gump are out in the boat, and all the other boats are sinking, and there's the youth, and Captain Dan gets at the top of the mast, he's lost his legs, he's stayed alive, which he didn't want to do, and he just rages against the heavens. It wasn't the same thing here. So I want you to do as Captain Dan.
Blow winds, crack your cheeks, rage, blow! You cataracts and hurricanos spout till you have drenched our steeples and drowned the cocks. You sulphurous and thought-executing fires! Vaunt, couriers to oak-cleaving thunderbolts, singe my white beard, and thou all-shaking thunder, smite! Flat the thick rotundi of the world, crack nature's molds, all Germans spill at once that make ingrateful man!
We actually don't have the other players up here yet, so there's going to be a little delay. We'll all pause at that moment there, which deserves that. But we need the fool. We need a fool. Good. There we go. Danny. And we need a Kent. Brian McFarland, another one of my students, unable to make it today. He was in my class in the spring of 2020, which, of course, as you all know, was interrupted. He has successfully gone on to Rutgers and maybe transferring now to an Ivy League school. So it's a good, Brian, if you're hearing this, I hope to see you soon. But I need Kent, one of my favorite characters. Kent? Who wants Kent? Carl, Kent. Clark Kent. Carl, you want to do Kent? No, Bob, you're the next leader. Okay. All right. Okay.
John, this is a theater exercise, me having to hold this rage. Bob Grill and his brother Phil. We did the first play. I think John is sending me up here because I didn't forget to tell it. I told about 6 people already, John, just not on camera.
You want this one, Carl?
I don't know.
Yes.
I think this one is fine. Okay. I didn't even see it.
Carl went to Stratford Grammar School with Shakespeare, so he knows it by heart.
He was a real prick, too, I can tell you.
And let me just say, though, in a rare moment of modesty, we heard from Carl, right? I just say that.
rare
he really,
moment?
yes, a rare moment.
Thank you,
he really, he really is the greatest Shakespeare teacher.
You're the fool.
O nuncle, court holy water in a dry house is better than this rain water out a door. Good nuncle, in and ask thy daughter's blessing. Here's a night pities neither wise man nor fool.
Rumble thy belly full, spit, fire! Spout rain nor rain, wind, thunder, fire are my daughters. I tax not you, you elements, with unkindness. I never gave you kingdom, called you children. You owe me no subscription. Then let fall your horrible pleasure. Here I stand your slave, a poor, infirm, weak, and despised old man. And yet I call you servile ministers that have with no pernicious daughters joined your high engendered battle against the head. So old and white as this, oh, 'tis foul.
He that has a house to put's head in has a good headpiece. The codpiece that will house before the head has any. The head and he shall louse. So beggars marry many. The man that makes his toe what he his heart should make, shall a corn cry woe, and turn his sleep to wake. For there was never yet fair woman, but she made mouths in glass.
Oh, I will the pattern of all patience, I will say nothing.
Who's there?
Mary, here's glass, here's grace and a codpiece. That's a wise man and a fool.
Alas, sir, are you here? Things that love night love not such nights as these. The wrathful skies gallow the very wanderers of the dark, and make them keep their caves. Since I was man, such sheets of fire, such bursts of horrid thunder, such groans of roaring wind and rain, I never remember to have heard. Man's nature cannot carry the affliction nor the fear.
Oh, let the great gods that keep this dreadful pother o'er our heads find out their enemies now. Tremble, thou wretch. As within these undivulged crimes, unwhipped of justice, hide thee, thou bloody hand, thou perjured and thou similar man of virtue, that art incestuous, caitiff to pieces shake, that under covert and convenient seeming hast practiced on man's life. Close pent-up guilts, rive your concealing continence, and cry, those dreadful summoners, grace, I am a man, more sinned against than sinning.
Alack, bareheaded! Gracious my lord, hard by here is a hovel. Some friendship will it lend you against the tempest. Repose you here while I do this hard house more harder than the stones whereof 'tis raised, which even but now, demanding after you, denied me to come in, return and force the scanted courtesy.
My wits begin to turn. Come on, my boy. How dost, my boy? Art cold? I am cold myself. Where is the straw, my fellow? The art of our necessities is strange. That can make vile things precious. Come, your hovel. Poor fool and knave. I have one part in my heart that's sorry yet for thee.
He that has, and a little tiny wit, with hey-ho in the wind and the rain, must make content with his fortunes fit, for the rain, it raineth every day.
True, my good boy. Come, bring us to this hovel.
This is a brave night to cool a courtesan. I'll speak a prophecy ere I go. When priests are more in word than matter, when brewers mar their malt with water, when nobles are their tailors' tutors, no heretics burnt, but wenches' suitors. When every case in a law is right, no squire in debt, nor no poor knight. When slanders do not live in tongues, nor cut purses come out to throngs. When usherers tell their gold, I the field, and bawds and whores do churches build, then shall the realm of Albion come to great confusion. Then comes the time, who lives to see it? That going shall be used with feet. This prophecy Merlin shall make, for I live before this time.
The most awful line in all of Shakespeare, when brewers mar their malt with water.
Are we continuing? Okay.
Another group of lyrians.
Okay.
Actors. This has 5 parts. The storm scene continues, and here we have Lear learning what it means to be compassionate and generous and caring. He experiences pretty soon an epiphany, a revelation, and I think it's captured in the line, I am a very famous fond old man. He knows who he is, right? And so it's Bob, Bill, right? Okay, you're Lear, okay? I will be Kent. Edgar is Sophia. Danny, you're up here as the fool. And Jude is Gloucester, who, if any of you know, has had his eyes taken out of him in one of the most hideously violent scenes of all of Shakespeare. Really tough to take. When it's, I think it's Cornwall, right? Cornwall, is it Cornwall who takes his eye? Shakespeare drags this out. We're not reading that scene, but the taking out of the eyes, the torture, while it's almost like a bear baiting scene. Gloucester is strapped down, and then his eyes are taken out, and then it's not what's that? Grinds him with the heel of his shoes, and the thing about it is he takes one eye out. Oh yeah, and in the middle of that, a servant can't take it. And so he tries to stop Cornwall from taking out the second eye. So anguishing, right, on the stage is Gloucester with one eye out, knowing full well the other is going to come out too. Well, the servant is killed, right? And so Shakespeare drags it out for, oh man, 10, 15, it just seems like a long time instead of having it done right away. So it's really tough to take that scene. I would say the most violent moment in all of Shakespeare, although moments in Titus Andronicus would probably be right up there, if you're familiar with Titus.
The way they did it on stage, it was music on, they had eyes from dead sheep.
Really? There you go. Okay.
We're not doing that, right?
No, we're not doing that, but I'm just trying to give you the condition of Jude right now. That's Jude. Suspend disbelief. Okay. So here we are. We're back at the storm. See, it even says storm still. Okay. So, and still meaning yes, it's continuing. Okay. Here we go. Well, I'm here. I'm sorry. I'm not leaving. All right. We got. I start the scene. Okay, Kent. Here's the place, my lord, good my lord. Enter. The tyranny of the open night's too rough for nature to endure.
Let me alone.
Good my lord, enter here.
Wilt break my heart?
I had rather break mine own, good my lord, enter.
Thou thinkest 'tis much that this contentious storm invades us to the skin, so 'tis to thee. But where the greater malady is fixed, the lesser is scarce felt. Thou hast shun a bear, but if thy flight lay toward the raging sea, thou meetst the bear in the mouth. When the mind's free, the body's delicate. The tempest in my mind doth from my senses take all feeling else save what else beats there? Filial ingratitude. Is it not as this mouth should tear this hand for lifting food to it? But I will punish home. No, I will weep no more. In such a night to shut me out? Pour on, I will endure. In such a night as this, O Regan, Goneril, your old kind father, whose frank heart gave all, oh, that way madness lies, let me shun that. No more of that.
Good my lord, enter here.
Prithee, go in thyself. Seek thine own ease. This tempest will not give me leave to ponder on things that would hurt me more, but I'll go in. In, boy, go first. You houseless poverty, nay, get thee in. I'll pray, and then I'll sleep. Poor naked wretches, wheresoe'er you are, that bide the pelting of this pitiless storm, how shall your household heads and unfelt sides, your looped and windowed raggedness, defend you from seasons such as these? Oh, I have taken too little care of this. Take physic, pomp, expose thyself to feel what wretches feel, that thou mayst shake the superflux to them, and show the heavens more just.
Fathom and half, poor Tom.
Come not in here, uncle. Here's a spirit. Help me, help me.
Give me thy hand. Who's there?
A spirit, a spirit. He says his name's poor Tom.
What art thou that dost grumble there in the straw? Come forth.
Away! The foul fiend follows me. Through the sharp hawthorn blows of the cold wind, go to thy cold bed and warm thee.
Hast thou given all to thy two daughters? And art thou come to this?
Who gives anything to poor Tom? Who the foul fiend hath led through fire and through flame, and through ford and whirly pool, o'er bog and quagmire, that hath laid knives under his pillow, and halters in his pew, set rat's bane by his porridge, made film proud of heart, to ride on a bay trotting horse over 4-inch bridges, to course his own shadow for a traitor. Bless thy 5 wits, Tom's a cold. Oh, duty, duty, duty. Bless thee from whirlwinds, star blasting and taking. Do poor Tom some charity, whom the foul fiend vexes. There could I have him now, and there again, and there.
What, have his daughters brought him to this pass? Couldst thou save nothing? Didst thou give them all?
Nay, he reserved a blanket, else we had been all shamed.
Now, all the plagues that in this pendulous air hang fated are men's faults, light on thy daughters.
He hath no daughters, sir.
Death, traitor. Nothing could have subdued nature to such a lowness but his unkind daughters. Is it the fashion that discarded fathers should have thus little mercy on their flesh? Judicious punishment. 'Twas this flesh begot those pelican daughters.
Pelicock sat on Pelicock Hill. Hello, hello, lo, lo.
This cold night will turn us all to fools and madmen.
Take heed of the foul fiend. Obey thy parents. Keep thy word justly. Swear not. Commit not with man's sword spouse. Set not thy sweet heart on proud array. Tom's a cold.
What hast thou been?
A serving man, proud in heart and mind, that curled my hair, wore gloves in my cap, served the lusts of my mistress' heart, and did the act of darkness with her, swore as many oaths as I spake words, and broke them in the sweet face of heaven. One that slept in the contriving of lust, and waked to do it. Wine loved I deeply, dice dearly, and in woman out paramored the Turk, false of heart, light of ear, bloody of hand, hog and sloth, fox and stealth, wolf and greediness, dog and madness, lion and prey. Let not the creaking of shoes nor the rustling of silk beret the poor heart to woman. Keep thy foot out of brothels, thy hand out of plackets, thy pen from lenders' books, and defy thy foul fiend. Still through the hawthorn blows the cold wind. Say some, mun, ha, no, nani, dolphin, my boy, Sessa, let him trot by.
Why, thou wert better in thy grave than to answer with thy uncovered body this extremity of the skies. Is man no more than this? Consider him well. Thou owest the worm no silk, the beast no hide, the sheep no wool, the cat no perfume. Ha! Here's three unsophisticated. Thou art the thing itself. Unaccommodated man is no more but such a poor, bare, forked animal as thou art. Off, off, you lendings! Come unbutton here.
Prithee, nuncle, be contented. 'Tis a naughty night to swim in. Now a little fire in a wild field where, like an old lecher's heart, a small park, all the rest on's body cold. Look here comes a walking fire.
This is the foul fiend, liber bit. He begins at curfew and walks till the first cock. He gives the web and the pin, squints the eye, and makes the hair lip, mildews the white wheat, and hurts the poor creature of earth. As withhold footed thrice the old, he met the nightmare and her ninefold, bid her alight, and her troth plight, and aroint thee, witch, aroint thee.
How fares your grace?
What's he?
Who's there? Was it you seek?
What are you there? Your names?
Poor Tom, that eats the swimming frog, the toad, the tadpole, the wall, newt, and the water, that in the fury of his heart, when the foul fiend rages, eats cow dung for salads, swallows the old rat in the ditch, dog, drinks the green mantle for the standing pool, who is whipped from tithing to tithing, and stock punished and imprisoned, who hath had 3 suits to his back, 6 shirts to his body, horse to ride, and weapon to wear. But mice and rats and such small deer have been Tom's food for 7 long year. Beware, my follower. Peace, Smolkin. Peace, thou fiend.
What? Hath your grace no better company?
The Prince of Darkness is a gentleman. Modo he called, and Mahu.
Our flesh and blood is grown so vile, my lord, that it doth hate what gets it.
Poor Tom's a cold.
Go in with me. My duty cannot suffer, to obey in all your daughters' hard commands, though their injunction be to bar my doors, and let this tyrannous night take hold upon you. Yet I have ventured to come seek you out, and bring you where both fire and food is ready.
First, let me talk with this philosopher. What is the cause of thunder?
Good my lord, take his offer, go into the house.
I'll talk a word with this same learned Theban. What is your study?
How to prevent the fiend and to kill vermin.
Let me ask you one word in private.
Importune him once more to go, my lord. His wits begin to unsettle.
Canst thou blame him? His daughters seek his death. Ah, that good Kent. He said it would be thus, poor banished man. Thou sayest the king grows mad. I'll tell thee, friend, I am almost mad myself. I had a son, now outlawed from my blood. He sought my life. But lately, very late, I loved him, friend. No father, his son dearer. Truth to tell thee, the grief hath crazed my wits. What a night's this. Do beseech your grace.
Oh, cry your mercy, sir. Noble philosopher, your company.
Tom's a cold.
And fellow there, into the hovel. Keep thee warm.
Come, let's in all.
This way, my lord.
With him, I will keep still with my philosopher.
Good my lord, soothe him. Let him take the fellow.
Take him you on.
Sarah, come on, go along with us.
Come, good Athenian.
No words, no words. Hush.
Child Roland to the dark tower came. His word was still. Fie, foe, and fum, I smelled the blood of a British man.
End scene. Sophia had the challenge there, I think, of reading an entire dictionary of words. Wow, well done, really. I have taken too little care of this. There's the moment, right? He goes out and he sees what it's like and what the lack of care that he's always had. That to me is the pivotal moment in Lear's Anagnorisis, his sudden awareness of who he is and what he's done.
Every Republican senator in the United States right now has that same moment.
I have taken too little care of this. Okay, now, this is extempore. We have the sudden appearance. No, I'm sorry. I'm getting ahead of myself. Okay, that sudden appearance will happen after this. We have a small scene. that involves now the shift to Romeo and Juliet. Okay, you know, one of the things that you can really get into with Romeo and Juliet in any class is like, who's to blame for the tragedy, right? Is it the stars, you know, the star-crossed lovers? Is it Romeo? Is it Juliet? Is it the friar? Is it the nurse? Is it the feud, right? The Capulets, the Montagues, or is it all of them? And you know what? Maybe it was just the plague. And you'll see what I mean in this small scene with Friar Lawrence and Friar John, and I think Jack will explain how the plague might have actually been the pivotal impact on the tragedy. So we have Jack as Friar John, and we have, Thomas isn't here, right? So how about another friar? There's never enough friars, right, Jude? Friar? Okay, great, Rachel, great.
In Lear, the last scene, one of the greatest of all Shakespeare's lines is when Gloucester, after he's blinded and he's, you know, talking about fate, and he says, "We are to the gods as flies to wanton boys. They kill us for their sport." It's really stunning because in the scene we just heard, here is Gloucester, blind, talking to his son and revealing how much he actually loved him, and yet that is the cause of his blindness. Shakespeare, man, nobody does it better. So here we have Romeo and Juliet, and often when I talk to this with my students, I try to modernize what happened here. And so in general, what I say is that what happened was Juliet was supposed to get a text sent by Father John to Romeo to let him know that I'm not really dead, it's not poison. She, you know, didn't pay her Verizon bill, and therefore, you know, the text didn't go through, and that is the crux of it. The other way to do this is, and I'll end it in the way that is another much more updated version. So you're just going to have to fly with me, girlfriend. Welcome from Mantua. What says Romeo? Or if his mind be writ, give me his letter.
Going to find a barefoot brother out, one of our order, to associate me. Here in this city visiting the sick, and finding him, the searchers of the town, suspecting that we both were in a house where the infectious pestilence did reign, sealed up the doors and would not let us forth. So that my speed to Mantua there was stayed.
Who bear my letter then to Romeo?
I could not send it. Here it is again, nor get a messenger to bring it thee. So fearful were they of infection.
Unhappy fortune. I'll try to Zoom with Romeo if I can get my my Wi-Fi to work. And again, the plague was so, you know, I mean, there's so much, and not by any means making light of the pandemic, but this is when you talk about nature, this is, you know, the Empire Strikes Back. Well, nature strikes back here, and we see it over and over and over again throughout history. Thanks for letting me do that, Jim.
Well, now, one of the most famous scenes of all of Shakespeare, the Romeo and Juliet balcony scene, right? And we will have Dorothy as Juliet, and the English department's own Cameron Mount as Romeo. I'm sure a lot of you know already, but when Romeo and Juliet first meet at the Mask, which we're all wearing masks now, thank you. Their first language, if you look at the 14 lines, the first 14 lines that they share, they form a perfect sonnet. So Shakespeare gives them the greatest expression of love together when they see each other for the first time, which is the form of the sonnet. And they live in that sonnet. They live in that sonnet for the rest of the play. They live in the beauty of the language of a sonnet. That's the little universe that they created, escaping from aggression, from feuding, from hatred. It's their own little world that they created through their own language. And you really see it explored wonderfully in this terrific, memorable scene, the balcony scene.
He justs at scars that never felt a wound. But soft, what light through yonder window breaks? It is the east, and Juliet is the sun. Arise, fair sun, and kill the envious moon, who is already sick and pale with grief, that thou her maid art far more fair than she. Be not her maid, since she is envious. Her vestal livery is but sick and green, and none but fools do wear it. Cast it off. It is my lady, oh, it is my love. Oh, that she knew she were. She speaks, yet she says nothing. What of that? Her eye discourses, I will answer it. I am too bold, 'tis not to me she speaks. Two of the fair stars in all the heaven, having some business, do entreat her eyes to twinkle in their spheres till they return. What if her eyes were there, they in her head? The brightness of her cheek would shame those stars, as daylight doth a lamp. Her eyes in heaven would through the airy region stream so bright that birds would sing and think it were not night. See how she leans her cheek upon her hand. Oh, that I were a glove upon that hand, that I might touch that cheek.
Ay me.
She speaks. Oh, speak again, bright angel. For thou art as glorious to this night, being o'er my head, as is the winged messenger of heaven unto the white upturned wondering eyes of mortals that fall back to gaze on him, when he bestrides the lazy pacing clouds and sails upon the bosom of the air.
O Romeo, Romeo, wherefore art thou Romeo? Deny thy father and refuse thy name. Or, if thou wilt not, be but sworn my love, and I'll no longer be a Capulet.
Shall I hear more? Shall I speak at this?
'Tis but thy name that is my enemy. Thou art thyself, though not a Montague. What's Montague? It is not hand, nor foot, nor arm, nor face, nor any other part belonging to a man. Oh, be some other name. What's in a name? That which we call a rose by any other name would smell as sweet. So Romeo would, were he not Romeo called, retain that dear perfection which he owes without that title. Romeo, doff thy name, and for thy name, which is no part of thee, take all myself.
I take thee at thy word. Call me but love, and I'll be new baptized. Henceforth, I never will be Romeo.
What man art thou that has thus bescreened in night, so stumblest on my counsel?
By a name? I know not how to tell thee who I am. My name, dear saint, is hateful to myself, because it is an enemy to thee. Had I it written, I would tear the word.
My ears have not yet drunk 100 words of that tongue's utterance, yet I know the sound. Art thou not Romeo and a Montague?
Neither, fair saint, if either thee dislike.
How camest thou hither? Tell me, and wherefore? The orchard walls are high and hard to climb, and the place death, considering who thou art, if any of my kinsmen find thee here.
With love's light wings did I o'erperch these walls. For stony limits cannot hold love out. What love can do that dares love attempt. Therefore thy kinsmen are no let to me.
If they do see thee, they will murder thee.
Alack, there lies more peril in thine eye than 20 of their swords. Look thou but sweet, and I am proof against their enmity.
I would not for the world they saw thee here.
I have night's cloak to hide me from their sight. And but thou love me, let them find me here. My life were better ended by their hate than death prorogued, wanting of thy love.
By whose direction foundst thou out this place?
By love, who first did prompt me to inquire. He lent me counsel, and I lent him my eyes. I am no pilot, yet wert thou as far as that vast shore washed with the farthest sea, I would adventure for such merchandise.
Thou knowest the mask of night is on my face, else would a maiden blush bepaint my cheek for that which thou hast heard me speak tonight. Fain would I dwell on form, fain deny what I have spoke, but farewell compliment. What I have dost thou love me? I know that will say aye, and I will take thy word. Yet if thou swearest, thou may prove false. At lovers' perjuries, they say, Jove laughs. O gentle Romeo, if thou dost love, pronounce it faithfully. Or if thou think'st I am too quickly won, I'll frown and be perverse and say thee nay, so thou wilt woo. But else, not for the world. In truth, fair Montague, I am too fond, and therefore thou mayst think my behavior light. But trust me, gentlemen, I'll prove more true than those that have more cunning to be strange. I should have been more strange, I must confess. But that thou overheardest ere I was ware, my true love's passion, therefore pardon me, and not impute this yielding to light love, which the dark night had so discovered.
Lady, by yonder blessed moon I swear that tips with silver all these fruit
Oh,
treetops.
swear not by the moon, the inconstant moon that monthly changes in her circled orb, lest thy love prove likewise variable.
What shall I swear by?
Do not swear at all, or, if thou wilt, swear by thy gracious self, which is the God of my idolatry, and I'll believe thee.
If my heart's dear love...
Well, do not swear. Although I joy in thee, I have no joy of this contract tonight. It is too rash, too unadvised, too sudden, too like the lightning which does cease to be, ere one can say it lightens. Sweet, good night. This bud of love, by summer's ripening breath, may prove a beauteous flower when next we meet. Good night, as sweet repose and rest come to thy heart as that within my breast.
Oh, wilt thou leave me so unsatisfied?
What satisfaction canst thou have tonight?
The exchange of thy love's faithful vow for mine.
I gave thee mine before thou didst request it, and yet I would it were to give it again.
Wouldst thou withdraw it? For what purpose, love?
But to be frank, and give it thee again. And yet I wish but for the thing I have. My bounty is as boundless as the sea. My love is deep. The more I give to thee, the more I have, for both are infinite. I hear some noise within. Dear love, adieu. Anon, good nurse. Sweet Montague, be true. Stay but little, I will come again.
Oh, blessed, blessed night. I'm afeard, being a knight, all this is but a dream, too flattering sweet to be substantial.
3 words, dear Romeo, and good night indeed. If that thy bent of love be honorable, thy purpose marriage, send me word tomorrow, by one that I'll procure to come to thee, where and what time thou wilt perform the rite, and all my fortunes at thy foot I'll lay, and follow thee, my lord, throughout the world. Madam, I come anon, but if thou mean'st not well, I do beseech thee. By and by I come, to cease thy suit and leave me to my grief. Tomorrow will I send.
So thrive my soul.
1,000 times good night.
1,000 times the worse to want thy light. Love goes towards love as schoolboys from their books, but love from love towards school with heavy books.
Tst, Romeo, tst. Oh, for a falconer's voice, to lure this tasseled, gentle back again. Bondage is hoarse, and may not speak aloud, else would I tear the cave where echo lies, and make her airy tongue more hoarse than mine with repetition of my Romeo's name.
It is my soul that calls upon my name. How silver sweet sound lovers' tongues by night, like softest music to attending ears.
Romeo,
My dear,
at what o'clock tomorrow shall I send to thee?
at the hour of 9.
I will not fail. 'Tis 20 years till then. I have forgot why I did call thee back.
Let me stand here till thou remember it.
I shall forget to have thee still stand there, remembering how I love thy company.
And I'll still stay to have thee still forget, forgetting any other home but this.
'Tis almost morning. I would have thee gone, and yet no further than a wanton's bird, who lets it hop a little from her hand, like a poor prisoner in his twisted gyves, and with a silk thread plucks it back again, so loving jealous of his liberty.
I would I were thy bird.
Sweet, so would I, yet I should kill thee with much cherishing. Good night, parting is such sweet sorrow, that I shall say good night till it be morrow.
Sleep, dwell upon thine eyes, peace in thy breast. Would I were sleep and peace, so sweet to rest. Hence will I to my ghostly father's cell help to crave, and my dear hap to tell.
You can stay right there. You don't have to wipe yet. You stay here. Yeah, you're still Juliet. Stay in that mode. Okay. The soliloquy that Juliet is about, that Dorothy's about to read, or Juliet, see, is I don't know if you know, but there's a part of this where that was read by Robert Kennedy at John F. Kennedy's funeral, and so it's famous for that. But of course, it's an absolutely brilliant soliloquy. And this is early Shakespeare. This is not later on. The Macbeths, the Othellos, the King Lears, those are all coming. The Twelfth Nights, he had a lot more to do. This is pretty early stuff. So here is Juliet.
Thank you for the warning. Gallop apace, you fiery-footed steeds, toward Phoebus' lodging, such a wagoner as Phaethon would whip you to the west, and bring in cloudy night immediately. Spread thy closed curtain, love-performing night, that runaway eyes may wink, and Romeo leap to these arms. Untalked of and unseen, lovers can see to do their armor's rights, by their own beauties, or, if love be blind, it best agrees with night. Come, civil knight, thou sober-suited matron, all in black, and learn me how to lose a winning match. Played for a pair of stainless maidenhoods, hood my unmanned blood, bathing in my cheeks with thy black mantle, till strange love, grown bold, think true love acted simply modesty. Come, night, come, Romeo, come thou day and night, for thou wilt lie upon the wings of night, whither the new snow on a raven's back. Come, gentle night, come, loving, black-browed night, give me my Romeo, and when he shall die, take him and cut him out in little stars, and he will make the face of heaven so fine that all the world will be in love with the night, and pay no worship to the garnished sun. Oh, I have bought the mansion of love, but not possessed it, and though I am sold, yet not enjoyed, so tedious is this day, as is the night before some festival to an impatient child that hath new robes and may not wear them. Oh, here comes my nurse, and she brings news, and every tongue that speaks but Romeo's name speaks heavenly eloquence. Okay. Processing that as I was reading.
Good job. So a lot of times in my classes, I'll say to the students, so whose play is this? After we've gotten through it or maybe completed it, whose play was it? And sometimes it's named King Lear, but I went to a performance where Edmund stole the show. A lot of times with Othello, it's Iago, who really steals the show. He steals you too in the process. Romeo and Juliet, for me, it's always been Juliet. You want to know where Shakespeare is? You want to find him in any Shakespeare play? Seek out the greatest language in the play, the character who spews out the best language. That's where he is. That's my theory. So I think he's with Juliet. However, I did go to a performance of Romeo and Juliet at the Shakespeare Theater of New Jersey back in, Judy, was that 2019 or was that 20? 19, okay. Rachel, you were there too. Or Dorothy, you were there too, yes. Now, I went to two. And the first performance I went to be frank, Juliet was abysmal. She was awful. And she wasn't Romeo and Juliet. It was not her play. The Friar actually stood out for me. But the second time, I went twice that week. And man, was Juliet good that night. Yes, I think that's when you went, Dorothy, right? So she blew the socks off us, and so it was, in fact, it was Juliet's play. Whatever happened the first time, who knows? But it's all a lot of times based on performance and the power of the actor to take those words on and make them come to life, right? Okay, this is the impromptu one. John and Jen Bukovic are come up, and they're going to do something from The Taming of the Shrew that's off script, okay? But I am sure they will nail it.
So Jim was gracious enough to allow us to do this scene. We were going to do it before the Romeo and Juliet, so that it wasn't like, wow, that's what love is. But this scene, and Jim was trying to say, he said to me, well, what's the nature part? What's the nature part? There's all sorts of nature references in this scene. It just happens to be both the man and the woman referring back and forth to each other in playful terms, to say the least. This is 2-1 from Taming of the Shrew, and I was saying to Jen is, actually that was the screen from before too. The irony of this play is a lot of people look at it as a Taming of the Shrew and a negative shrew concept, and it's really not. It's actually a testimony to how strong the female character is, even though that last monologue kind of shoots it in the foot a bit, but through the most part, she stands up, and she stands up for herself in a very, very dominant man's world, and she gives Petruchio what for when time comes to it. So, Ben? Good morrow, Kate, for that is your name, I hear.
Well, have you heard, but something hard of hearing. They call me Katharina, that do speak of me.
You lie in faith, for you are called Plain Kate, and Bony Kate, and sometimes Kate the Cursed, but Kate, the prettiest Kate in Christendom, Kate of Kate Hall, my super dainty Kate. For dainties are all Kates, and therefore, Kate, take this of me, Kate of my consolation. Hearing thy mildness praised in every town, thy virtues spoke of, and thy beauty sounded, yet not so deeply as to thee belongs, myself am moved to woo thee for my wife.
Moved! In good time. Let him that moved thee hither remove thee hence. I knew you at the first you were immovable.
Why, what's a movable?
A joined stool.
Thou hast hit it. Come, sit on me.
Asses are made to bear, and so are you.
Women are made to bear, and so are you.
No such jade as you. If me, you mean.
Alas, good Kate, I will not burden thee, for knowing thee to be but young and light.
Too light for such a swain as you to catch, and yet as heavy as my weight should be.
Should buzz.
Well taken, and like a buzzard.
Oh, slow-winged turtle, shall a buzzard take thee?
Aye, for a turtle, as he takes a buzzard.
Come, you wasp. In faith, you are too angry.
If I be waspish, best beware my sting.
My remedy then is to pluck it out.
Aye, if the fool could find it where it lies.
Oh, who knows not where a wasp does wear his sting? In his tail.
In his tongue.
What? Whose tongue?
Yours, if you talk of tails, and so farewell.
What, with my tongue in your tail? Nay, come again, good Kate. I am a gentleman.
That I'll try.
Oh, hey! I swear I'll cuff you if you strike again.
So may you lose your arms. If you strike me, you are no gentleman. And if no gentleman, why then, no arms.
A herald, Kate. Oh, put me in thy books.
What is your crest, a cock's comb?
A combless cock, so Kate shall be my hen.
No cock of mine. You crow too like a craven.
Nay, come, Kate, come. You must not look so sour.
It is my fashion when I see a crab.
Why, here is no crab, and therefore look not so sour.
There is.
Then show it me.
Had I a glass, I would.
What? You mean my face?
Well aimed of such a young one.
Yes, well, now by St. George, I am too young for you.
Yet you are withered.
'Tis with cares.
I care not.
Nay, hear you, Kate. In sooth, you scape not so.
I chafe you if I tarry. Let me go.
No, not a whit. I find you passing gentle. 'Twas told to me you were rough and coy and sullen, and now I find report a very liar. For thou art pleasant, gamesome, passing courteous, but slow in speech, yet sweet as springtime flowers. Thou canst not frown, thou canst not look askance, nor bite the lip as angry wenches will, nor hast thou pleasure to be cross in talk. But thou, with mildness, entertainst thy wooers, with gentle conference, soft and affable. Why does the world report that Kate doth limp? Oh, slanderous world, for Kate, like the hazel twig, is straight and slender and is brown, and you as hazelnuts and sweeter than their kernels. Let me see thee walk. Thou dost not halt.
Go, fool, and whom thou keep'st command.
Did ever Diane so become a grove as Kate this chamber with her princely gait? Oh, be thou Diane, and let her be Kate, and therefore let Kate be chaste and Diane sportful.
Where did you study all this goodly speech?
It is extempore from my mother wit.
A witty mother, witless else her son.
Am I not wise?
Yes, keep you warm.
Marry, so I mean, sweet Catherine, in thy bed, and therefore setting all this chat aside. Thus in plain terms, your father hath consented that you shall be my wife. Your dowry agreed on, and will you, nill you, I will marry you. Now, Kate, I am a husband for your term. For by this light, whereby I see thy beauty that doth make me like thee well, thou must be married to no man but me, for I am he who am born to tame you, Kate, to bring you from a wild Kate to a Kate conformable as other household Kates. Here comes your father. Never make denial. I must and will have Katharina to my wife. Thank you.
Folks, come to YouTube the sitcom Thursday Nights at the Bukovics. Any Thursday at the Bukovics. So I'm about to, when you do TV productions, the first day you go into film productions or class or anything like that, the first thing you do when you get the camera is you point the camera at the monitor. And therefore you get endless infinity shots of the monitor in the monitor, much like in Citizen Kane, the famous. So here is us on YouTube right now as we speak. There's Jim waving to himself. And I want to give a good shout out to everybody who's out there. I want to thank everybody who was involved in the production. Brookdale TV, they are the bomb, so please, if you haven't, this is the first thing that you've ever watched from Brookdale TV, then please go onto their site. And also a great shout out to all the people that are out there. There's all sorts in the chat. Everyone from the tippity top, Dr. Reed is out there, to many students and friends. Linda Martin hosted Carl Counder's program on the Fireside Poets, as well as Shakespeare's Women, and many of the students are there. Diana, I saw you on the chat, so hello to all those folks out there. So it's really great, and to all my students making all the sarcastic remarks about me, the term is not over yet. But I love you guys. You are the bomb. And Leah, thank you for inviting your friend. We have someone from South Africa watching the program right now because of Leah, one of our students is bringing her in. So thank you all for doing this, and thank you all for participating. I appreciate it very much. And I know Jim is thrilled to be back on the horse here. He's been jonesing since he couldn't do it last year.
We're not done.
I know.
Okay.
I know.
Actually, do you want to, I don't know, do you singing? That'd be good.
All right, so we'll do a little bit of the one that Jim did have to miss was when his mom passed away, and the wake was that night. And so his mom was a Bonnie Irish lass, and I sang at the end of the night, Danny Boy, and so it has become a tradition, so I will abuse your ears with it today.
Thank you, Jack.
Oh, Danny Boy, the pipes are calling ye, from glen to glen and down the mountainside. The summer's gone, and all the roses falling. 'Tis ye must go, and I must bide. Oh, come ye back when summer's in the meadow, or when the valleys hush
and white with snow. 'Tis I'll be here in sunshine or in shadow. Oh, Jimmy boy, I love you so. I love you so.
Jim and Bob, Miss Cody.
Irene Blackburn Cody loved every second of that, I am sure. We have these little traditions that we've carried on for 11 years, and that's one of them that's continued. Another one is at the very end of this, okay, we are singing Happy Birthday to Billy. All right, so we do that. That's going to happen. So, but talking about all these hardworking individuals involved with TV and production, we don't want to go overtime, so I'm putting Richard in the tower. All right, Richard's going back in the tower to you, Rich. Sorry for those of you who had the parts with Richard, but we're going to end it with The Tempest. Nothing like a good shipwreck to end things with, right? Okay, so we're going to end it with The Tempest. This is 6 parts. This is why we have 6 of these stands. And then it will end with Dr. Carl Callender as Prospero in Prospero's famous final speech. So we're going to need some, there are a few people who are gone or didn't show up for today, who are assigned these parts. But we do have the boatswain, and that's Rachel, right? We have now, let's see. Is there anyone who hasn't read enough? Like, well, maybe didn't read it all?
Yeah, who's jonesing to get up here? Come on.
Who wants to do some reading that you haven't done? I know that, Ann, you said you love The Tempest. I don't know if there's a part for you there that you'd like. Anybody who hasn't read much?
How about Sergey? Sergey, you want to come up and read?
Okay, well, I do
Staying behind the
need
camera.
an Alonzo. Does anyone want to take on Alonzo?
All right, stop with the shy guy stuff. Thank
Great,
you.
Great.
Thank you,
Okay.
Laura.
Donna Flint, you're Antonia? She left? Okay. All right, wait, okay. Gonzalo, Bob Grill, is still here? Okay, Bob. Let's see.
Rose, you're not reading? No, okay.
Jack, do you want to be Sebastian?
If no one else does it, then I'll jump into the breach. Oh, I see we have the fool hat.
Let loose the dogs of war. Where's, anybody else? Sebastian? You guys come up, whoever I called. You guys come up. Whoever volunteered. Anybody? Jude? Okay, great. Dorothy and Jude. We need 2 parts. That's perfect. Okay. Let me clear my station here. Yes. You're the first person. Yes, you are.
Okay.
Whoever's behind me, just give me some.
Do we need to share mics, or that'll be inappropriate?
I'm gonna take my balloons, my paper clips.
Come on, we project.
I was hoping you remembered. You're the Mariners. You're the group of Mariners. Okay. All right. There's one there, and I'm gonna get this out of the way. And Dorothy, do you know who you are?
Nope.
Okay.
Don't know what page we're on.
We are on the first page of The Tempest, which is page 45, and you are Sebastian.
It is.
No one else is Sebastian, right?
There's not a lot of speaking.
You're Sebastian. You don't want to be typecast as just Juliet.
Yes, exactly. You want to make sure that SAG card keeps on. So I'm out of this then, Jim, right?
We're both out of it.
Good. All right.
Literally, figuratively. This is the first time I'm doing this. so give me a little-
Jim, can you tell me who I am again? Am I boatswain?
Yes, you're the first. Yes, you are. Okay.
Okay. I don't know if I introduced myself before. I'm Rachel, and I am a former Brookdale student. Okay, I do actually teach language arts currently, although my students are not as excited by Shakespeare as I am. Okay, so, hey, my hearts, cheerily, cheerily, my hearts. Yare, yare, take in the topsail, tend to the master's whistle, blow till thou burst thy wind, if room enough.
Good boatswain, have care. Where's the master? Play the men.
I pray now, keep below.
Where is the master, boatswain?
Do you not hear him? You mar our labor. Keep your cabins. You do assist the storm.
Nay, good, be patient.
When the sea is hence, what cares these roars for the name of king? To cabin, silence, trouble us not.
Good, yet remember who thou hast aboard.
None that I more love than myself. You are a counselor. If you can command these elements to silence and work the peace of the present, we will not hand a rope more. Use your authority. If you cannot, give thanks you have lived so long, and make yourself ready in your cabin for the mischance of the hour, if so hap. Cheerly, good hearts, out of our way, I say.
I have great comfort from this fellow. Methinks he hath no drowning mark upon him. His complexion is perfect gallows. Stand fast, good fate, to his hanging. Make the rope of his destiny our cable, for our own doth little advantage. If he be not born to be hanged, our case is miserable.
Down with the topmast. Yare, lower, lower. Bring her to try with main course. A plague upon this howling. They are louder than the weather or our office. Yet again, what you do here, shall we give o'er and drown? Have you a mind to sink?
Oh, pox o' your throat, you bawling, blasphemous, and charitable dog.
Work you then.
Hang cur, hang you whoreson, insolent noisemaker. We are less afraid to be drowned than thou art.
I'll warrant him for drowning, though the ship were no stronger than a nutshell and as leaky as an unstanched wench.
Lay her a hold, a hold. Set her 2 courses off to sea again. Lay her off.
All lost, 2 prayers, 2 prayers, all lost.
What, must our mouths be cold?
The king and prince at prayers. Let's assist them, for our case is as theirs.
I'm out of patience.
We are merely cheated of our lives by drunkards. This wide-chapped rascal, would thou mightst lie drowning the washing of 10 tides?
He'll be hanged yet, though every drop of water swear against it and gape at widest to glut him.
Let's all sink with the king.
Let's take leave of him.
Now would I give 1,000 furlongs of sea for an acre of barren ground, long heath, brown furs, anything. The wills above be done, but I would fain die a dry death.
Everybody say your name as you're the last ones. Let's have again bring people up and take a bow, and then we're gonna sing the last song after Carl. Come on up, Carl.
Yeah.
So you guys take your bows, say your names as you exit. There you go.
I'm Dorothy. What's up?
Bob Grill, thank you.
Thank you.
I'm Laura McCullough.
Okay, and I'm Rachel.
Have a good night, everybody. This is Meg. Signing off.
Forever. Jeez.
Carl, you found it? You got it? There's not many things that scholars agree with when it comes to Shakespeare, and one of the biggest controversies is the order of the plays. But most are in agreement, if not all, that The Tempest was his last full play that he wrote, and there were probably others after that he collaborated on. But The Tempest, and a lot of people like to maybe fantasize that Shakespeare was Prospero in this scene, meaning that, you know, he's breaking his staff, so he's breaking his pen. You know, he's getting rid of his books, like his career is over. So a lot of people have projected Shakespeare into this moment. I think Carl's about to project something really special for us here with this.
The Dean.
Hi. As Jim said, this is definitely one of Shakespeare's latest plays, certainly one of the latest that he wrote everything of. And Shakespeare lived his life with similes and metaphors. I know my friend Bill Watkins, who was here for 25 years and wrote over 400 poems, Eventually, I came to a point where my discussions with him were about 95% metaphor, and with Jack, it's up to about 85% when we talk. But Shakespeare could not possibly have had a character breaking his magical staff in one of his last plays without seeing the relevance to himself, because he was at a time in Elizabethan times getting to be an older man, and he was spending more and more time back in Stratford. And so the beginning of this speech, he talks about all the things that he's done with his staff as a magician, and then the last lines, he summons up the courage to break the staff, bury it in the ocean, and he's done. Okay, Prospero. Ye elves of hills, brooks, standing lakes, and groves, and ye that have hands with printless foot, and chase the ebbing Neptune, and do fly him when he comes back, you demi-puppets that by moonshine do the green sour ringlets make, whereof the yew got not bites, and you whose pastime is to make midnight mushrooms, that rejoice to hear the solemn curfew, by whose aid, weak masters though ye be, I have dimmed the moontide sun, called forth the mutinous winds, and twixt the green sea and the azured vault set roaring war to the dread rattling thunder. Have I given fire and rifted Jove's stout oak with his own bolt? The strong based promontory have I made shake, and by the spurs plucked up the pine and cedar. Graves at my command have waked their sleepers, oped and let them forth by my so potent art. But this rough magic I here abjure. And when I have required some heavenly music, which even now I do, to work mine end upon their senses, that this airy charm is for, I'll break my staff, bury it certain fathoms in the earth, and deeper than ever plummet sound, I'll drown my book. Thank you very much, and thanks Jim Cody for putting this on 11 times.
Happy birthday. You could be one of the 6 happy birthday people.
Okay.
I need 3 volunteers. We used to fill the stage, okay, with happy birthday singing, so we just need 3 more people. Can I just add 3 more people to come up and be part of the stage version of happy birthday? Just 3 people. Dorothy, yes. Who else? 2 more. Good. Sapphira. We're all singing it, but 6 of us will be up here doing it. Excellent. Okay, we need 1 more. Where'd Jack go?
I'm a-coming.
Okay. Don't pay any attention to the guy behind the curtain. Somebody else? All right.
Hello. Are we addressing this to Billy or William?
I prefer Billy.
All
But
right.
yeah, if you want to be William, that's fine.
Oh, there I am.
What?
Great, that's excellent.
Okay.
Little fitness, all right.
Oh, there's tape.
I want to see you do that on a tightrope next time. Okay, you ready? Everybody.
Ah, the fool of fools.
1, 2, 3.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Wooly. Happy birthday to you.
Thank you, everybody. This was an exciting event for me, just personally, and being out here doing it again. It was great seeing everybody, and great job, everybody. Thank you for taking the risk of being here and for doing such terrific readings. Really, I can't thank you enough.
And Sherry is so happy there is action back in the pack. Folks, stay safe. We tried as best that we could to put on the program in safe and social distancing. You can do that. And wait till you can watch BTV until the pack gets back open and John and his crew gets back on stage and Sherry and her mob can get behind the scenes and make magic happen. Thanks for you all. Thank you, Jen Yanabelli. Her Jay. Thank you, everyone.
Both of them. I get my second one next week, so. Absolutely.
Danny,